at one point I made a joke that was like the Brio webcam was worth more than toilet paper. They're 10% of the rooms, but they're 90% of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And so even the number of USB ports we have on Rally Bar coincided with you need one site, you need a scribe camera, and you need a tap USB, and so you needed 3 USB ports.
How many software engineers does it take to change a light bulb?
Are they running Claude?
None, because that's a hardware problem.
Okay. That's a good one. I'll write that one down.
Everyone, this is Craig Durr with the Collab Collective. I want to welcome you to another edition of the Collaboration Café. Now, this one comes to you from San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, but this doesn't look like Silicon Valley around me, so bear with me because I want to make a point here. I've been thinking a lot lately about our industry and how we think about time. We think about things in terms of quarters, right? We think about products shipped last quarter, products launched last quarter. Did we make our numbers last quarter? That's all very important and it bears weight. But there's sometimes you need to sit back and play a different game. And I found someone who I think does that really well. The fact is, he actually has to make decisions that go beyond a quarter into 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 years. And I think it's really interesting because I want to introduce you to someone who I think has a great insights into the long view. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Henry Levak. Now, Henry runs the product team at Logitech for Business. You know what? I think he might be one of these people that has mastered this idea of the long view. But I don't know. We're going to sit down and talk to him. I want to find out what actually is the long view in his mind. How do you plan for it? And what does it look like in practice? So come with me and meet Henry Levak. Henry, good to see you,
Welcome to San Jose.
How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks for coming out.
Hey, so San Jose, I'm going to get to see the heart and depth of Silicon Valley here.
This is it.
Is this what it is?
This is it.
I love it. Hey, so let's do this. Some of our audience may not know who you are, so I want to make sure everyone understands who Henry Levak is. So right now, you are the VP of Product for Team Workspaces at Logitech, right?
Absolutely.
And that's part of the larger Logitech for Business?
Definitely.
How's that organization work there?
Yeah, so I'm sure most people have heard of Logitech, probably bought something from us over the years. We're kind of divided into multiple different areas of focus. We have our gaming team, so we have a huge gaming focus. We do really well there. We have a personal workspace solution, which is what a lot of people know us for.
The mice, the keyboards,
the webcams,
stuff like that, yeah?
Absolutely. And then I have the fortunate job of representing the TWS, or the Team Workspace solution. So this is
Team Workspace, yeah.
Yep. So this is all the video conferencing equipment and that we enable for wherever people want to video enable spaces.
I love it. And I'm excited about this one because I was talking to the audience that I want to kind of get into the mind, the heart, the soul of Henry Levak. I want to understand what makes you tick, because one of your biggest challenges probably is not thinking about this quarter or next quarter, but you have to think a couple of years out on what you're planning in your roadmap, huh?
I think that's probably one of the challenging parts, but also the fun part of our job.
Yeah.
Because I would say a lot of our customers, our partners, they look for partnerships, and partnerships tend to be longer term. And so they expect us to make the right decisions, both technically and commercially, for the long term. So yes, that is certainly something that the team and I think a lot about.
And team, you're right. You've got a really great team that's working with you.
Probably the best part of my job is the people I work with.
Yeah.
That is the design, the engineering teams, the business folks.
Yeah. You guys have some really great people that do that.
Amazing people, and of course the product and product marketing teams are exceptional as well.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so let's do this. Let's sit down, have a cup of coffee, and let's get to know you a little bit better, because I want to figure out what makes you tick, huh?
Let's do it.
Come on, let's go get a cup of coffee. What do you want to get?
Can you do an iced latte?
I love it. I haven't had an iced latte in a while. It's perfect for this weather. I might be able to dress for it. Let's do 2 of those, please.
Okay.
Whole milk.
Oat milk?
Whole milk.
Whole milk.
Whole milk.
Whole milk.
Only whole.
Cheers to you.
Cheers, man.
Iced coffee. Oh, iced latte. I'm sorry, I gotta get this right here. This is your drink of choice?
I drink any coffee, any espresso, but iced latte on a warm day.
So you've been at Logitech for 8-9 years? Somewhere
Yeah, a
around there?
little over 8 years.
So you were there right when you got there right before COVID hit,
Yep.
and right afterwards. And I was in your shoes working with product teams at that point in time as well too. That's something you couldn't plan for.
Yeah.
Any long view you would have had would have never said, all of a sudden we're going to be in this lockdown period. And everyone's going to have this high dependency on video.
We thought video was important before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But during the pandemic, I think it certainly elevated the conversation to a different level. It kind of went from being a nice to have to being a utility. Mm-hmm. And everyone's expectations thereafter became at such a high level, both in terms of video quality and being able to do it, but also supply and having access to these components. So when you think about the long view, to us, that is features, that is partnerships,
Right.
that is products. It is also supply chain and being the trusted, the resilient partner. So when things go up and things go down, people can trust us. So we think about it very broadly.
I'm sure you do, man.
It was crazy, and you could see it from device sales.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Looking back, at one point I made a joke that was like the Brio webcam was worth more than toilet paper. And if you remember those days, toilet paper was
because you couldn't get them online.
you couldn't get them, and it just spoke to the importance of having these products to be able to, for business continuity, people to be able to connect even on a personal level. And of course, there were other health and medical use cases that were super important to us to support. But the team leaned in, and we did a relatively good job to make sure. In fact, just an interesting data point, we were working on so many projects when COVID hit, many of them just got completely paused.
Oh, really?
And the entire engineering team went into kind of multi-sourcing componentry. So as soon as we'd find out that one component became unavailable or limited supply, they would start immediately working on multiple different component options to make it supply. So overall, we had a pretty good outcome, I think, relatively speaking, in terms of supply capabilities during the pandemic. But that was because of our just direct focus on making sure that that element was being resolved.
Take things back. Take things back.
So tell me, right now,
Yeah.
what's inspiring you? What are you reading these days? What are you watching on TV?
I watch a little bit less TV than I wish I could.
Well, okay, I'm sure. Yeah, that's why Netflix helps, because you can do it on demand.
Absolutely. With the kids in the sports, most of the time it's either that or Logitech.
Are you running around doing all the soccer and everything else?
We are a
over?
softball, soccer, baseball, basketball family. So that is most of my weekends.
Wow.
That's what you would find me doing. And if it's a softball game, you'll probably see me with the Mevo cameras recording it.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm that guy. Doing that extra camera. So I'm doing video on and off work.
What are you reading these days? Are you reading?
I'm reading everything and everyone. What I really like about some of the, there's the normal publications, the New York Times and all these guys, but just reading directly from the people that are building the AI capabilities and the AI features.
I mean, that is such a hot topic right now, right?
To me personally, it's probably one of the more exciting technologies. So I'm an optimist. I really do believe technology is going to solve so many of the pain points and add so much more to life. I know there's a lot of questions around what does the future hold with AI, and I don't believe to have the answer. But historically, technology has generally improved people's quality of life, and I think certainly AI tools will do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty optimistic. So I like to read directly from people that are working on these things and how they think about them.
Yeah. Do you have anyone you recommend?
Anyone basically who work at SpaceX. Anyone that work on OpenAI, the Claude team.
Have you heard of anyone named Ben Evans? He used to be with A to Z.
Yes.
Yes. He's got a great newsletter and podcast that comes out as well too.
Yep.
Good pulse of what's taking place here in your neck of the woods here.
Absolutely. There's just lots of sources, and I would say some of them are probably less known because they're maybe the engineer or the researcher behind it.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting just to understand kind of the details that go behind this technology. It's it's way different than what we've historically been used to. The power consumption, the the social impact. It's fascinating to see how people think about it.
Yeah, there's another woman out there that if you haven't heard about, I encourage you to. Her name is Amy Webb.
Okay.
She positions herself as a futurist, and I always have a hard time when people talk about that, but she stitches together these technology forecasts in these industries, and now she's looking at them, how they triangulate and impact each other. And she's able to draw this web that brings them all together. It's funny, it's her last name there.
And I think part of what we have to do generally as an industry and as technologists is we have to do balancing of what is possible and what should happen and when should it happen. I think as technologists, we do need to decide what makes sense and what doesn't, and make the right choices on behalf of the consumers, the long-term consumers.
You know, there was a great line an engineer said to me once, and I think this is a good situation. Don't tell me the solution you want, tell me the problem you're trying to solve.
Absolutely.
Is that a lens you have to take when you're talking to customers?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people tend to look at the world with a foundation of what is possible today.
Yeah.
And maybe some small incremental step beyond that. But I think part of our job is to think about what is maybe not obvious. And so
Right.
to do that well, what you really want to do is understand the root pain point.
Yeah.
On the flip side, it's not only important to build these things, but on the after you build it, you have to sell it. You have to be able to commercialize this thing, otherwise what was the point? And so being able to communicate the value of something tends to be better done through understanding the pain points. So part of it is it helps build it, part of it is helps tell the story after it's built. And what I've historically have found in my career is that building things is not the hard part. It's usually being able to tell the right message to the right audience. That usually is the harder part. So
Because it could be an echo chamber. You could be talking,
completely.
you know, when you have engineers building for engineers, they might have a lot of bells and whistles, but it may not solve the problems.
Absolutely. And what's really great, like even our engineers, they also like to go directly on site and see
really?
it for themselves. Yeah. We try to create a very close to the source kind of distance. So people working on the problems, the customers themselves, any issues or feature requests, getting the design team, the engineering team, the product man, everyone involved to hear directly from the source. And again, the most important part in some ways is once it's built to confirm that that is the expected outcome or the problem has been solved. So it's kind of a two-way thing. It's the intake and it's the outtake at the the second half that's just as important. Most people usually focus just on the first part, but I think the second part's just as important.
Let's go back a little. I wanna feel like way back when. Let's hold back a little.
What has you thinking beyond like a 2-year horizon? What has you thinking into a 3, 4-year, 5-year horizon?
Look, I think our customers, our partners expect us to think about that stuff for them in the long run. And so there's an expectation that we're always a couple steps ahead of where most people's attention is.
Yeah, what's that great Wayne Gretzky line? Don't skate to where the puck is. Skate to where the puck's going.
Absolutely, and part of that is also to identify which pucks to follow and which ones not.
I like
right?
that. That's great.
So there's you might see 3 pucks and only one of those is the right is the one you want to place a bet on. So part of it is us placing the right bets on the right things in the long run. So there's this expectation. I would say that's the fun part of the job. It's the hard part of the job, but there's this expectation. So from a hardware perspective, we try to future-proof the products. We try to say, hey, this product needs to continue to deliver for X amount of years and create this really fun playground, the sandbox for us to evolve it with software. And then in parallel, we have to think about, what are the software elements that need to come together to make it work. So Rally Bar is something that we started in right after I joined at Logitech. But before we even got to the Rally Bar, we were kind of thinking about a better than being their experience, right? And we thought about lots of different options and ideas. And the idea we came up with was multiple cameras working together, right? And we looked at center of table, wall mounted, and all this stuff. And we really wanted to deliver that center of table, that front of the room with multiple center of table cameras. So this is back in like 2018, 19. This is way back then. When you looked at that kind of final outcome, you said, okay, let's break this down into pieces. The first, probably most important thing is there's a video bar, and the video bar is really smart and can do all this multi-camera switching. So we realized we have to build Rally Bar first. But as we were building Rally Bar, it was already being built in a way that would allow these center of tables cameras.
You were already thinking about those use cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And so even the number of USB ports we have on Rally Bar coincided with, you need one site, you need a scribe camera, and you need a tap USB, and so you needed 3 USB ports.
Yeah.
So we were putting in the hooks, the compute, the thermal considerations into the Rally Bar years before anyone even heard of Sight.
Yeah.
But that was already something that we planned for. And so from our customers, from our partners' perspective, they expect us when they invest into a Logitech video device,
Yeah.
and they know that new, interesting, exciting things are coming in the future. They want to know that those products are going to be future-proofed.
Yeah, that's a key idea. You know, it's actually, I was fortunate to host a panel at Infocom a couple years ago, and the topic was multi-camera.
Yep.
And I had someone from your team who just retired, Alan, was out there on
Yeah.
that. So at that point in time, we were honing in on that language, outside in, inside out, for this multi-camera experience.
Yeah.
But he was already leaning into me, hinting and saying, look, we see those other use cases,
For sure.
outside in. And at that point in time, there was nothing public, nothing roadmap-wise. But you guys were already thinking about both use cases. You weren't so stubborn to say just one use case was the right use case.
Flexibility is kind of the name of the game. There's not any one path that's going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
Even our controller options, we have an IP controller and we have a point-to-point controller.
Yeah.
Right? And I like to say everyone picks both. One has 80% of the other and 20% in every organization.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
a little different. And so cameras will be no different. And so you got to provide flexibility, but you do have to prioritize which one goes first.
Well, why don't we do this? Let's wrap up these coffees. We'll go over to your office, and maybe I might convince you to show me what this longer view looks like in practice.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right. Henry, this is a great example of what we were talking about before, about thinking of beyond the immediate roadmap, the time frame. This is a software investment that you guys made as a company that's pretty strategic, right? Tell me about this.
It really originated from just the many discussions we had with our customers around what are their pain points. And
Right.
not all the pain points are about a video bar.
Or,
right?
yeah.
It's really about how they work and being able to decide and help employees decide when to come to the office, where to sit, who to sit next to. And if you really look at the pain points, really it comes down to things like wayfinding and space reservations and having the insights into knowing how those spaces are actually being utilized. So yes, we've invested a lot into partnerships, but also our own homegrown software that allows us to do things like this, which is a wayfinding experience. And so this is exactly where we're at now, and even from an orientation perspective, it's pointing into the right direction, which is right here, pointing upward. So right behind us is where we're gonna go. We're gonna visit Western Juniper here in a minute. And also it has real-time status of if the room's being used or not, both at the desktop, but also in the conference room itself. So it's easy to orient yourself. It's easy to know where to go if you need to have that meeting room right now.
How far in advance would you have been thinking about this? This is not a video algorithm. This is not an audio algorithm. This is out of the box.
It required multiple years of planning because it requires sensors in rooms, sensors of desktops. It requires cloud connectivity that allows it all to kind of connect.
Right.
But ultimately, this is a byproduct of a broader collaboration suite, and that all needs to tie together. And as I said earlier, really most of the problems are software problems.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
really how do you use the hardware that you already have in the room to solve those pain points. Yeah, so obviously this is Rally Board 65,
Yeah.
the biggest product we've ever made.
Physically.
Physically, it is big. It's a 65-inch all-in-one display. But the thinking that went behind this was, again, multiple years in advance, thinking about how do people actually use these devices.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about an all-in-one touch experience, you certainly think about an open space like this where
Yeah.
people get up
Right.
and then they collaborate. And that's a super important use case for us, definitely. But the other use case that we've thought a lot about was simplifying standard room deployments.
Really?
Yeah. So how do you use a device like this more optimized for a traditional conference room.
Okay.
But the problem we run into with these sort of devices is when you make them, pretty much everyone always puts the camera at the top of the display,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right,
Which
right.
makes sense because if you're using it for whiteboarding, you want to walk up to the room.
You don't want that
You don't want the
camera
camera
view.
below.
Right, exactly.
But if you put a device like this into a traditional conference room, you actually do want the camera below the display.
Right.
So what we were able to do is engineer it in a way that allows people to dynamically adjust the orientation
We talked about this.
depending
I love it.
on which space you use it in.
The flip.
The flip.
So this is for this type of scenario.
Exactly, where
Where
maybe
you
you have
are
a
sitting
more,
down.
and you want that eye level camera
And
experience.
this is a great experience here as well too.
Absolutely.
This is getting back to, we joked about first principles. What are people trying to do? They just want to be seen at the eye level. But I think you had another great insight you shared with me too about this, is that this wasn't even just an end user value, it was an IT value too, right?
And let me show you the perfect example of that,
Okay.
which is in coastal redwood. The camera can be mounted above or below the display. So in this case, we have a traditional VESA mount. We just simply put the device on that VESA mount. We put the camera below the display. It's a medium-sized room. You have speakers, camera, computes built in.
But okay, I'm sitting here and I don't want to get up and deal with the UI each time.
Of course, we have a controller connected and paired. You can still use the touch display if you want, so depending on
Right.
the kind of this scenario. But for all intents and purposes, this is kind of like what you would deliver with a video bar, but less parts, less vendors, simpler installation.
What about mediation? What happened to the middle ground? Let's take things back to like
So this room here.
Yep.
What you've got here is the use case that a lot of people talk about, which is a multi-purpose room in a lot of ways, right? The furniture moves almost as much as the people in the room sometimes.
Exactly. So this is I think you referred to kind of more of an activity-based room. Kind
Yeah.
Of, right? So how do you make that really, really simple? And when we started on this particular room, our integrator said immediately, okay, what external audio do we want to do? What DSP do you want to use? And for us, we said, hey, let's keep things simple. Like, why do we have to go straight to DSP? So we decided to use our own audio. The way we did that is we simply have a rally bar there. And we used our pendant mics to install those mic pods off the ceilings just to get things off the table.
Okay.
And basically now we don't have a DSP in this room. It's a modular space. There's nothing to tune. It's super simple to deploy. Our own IT team pretty much configured it and we're pretty much done. The second thing that we learned about ourselves is we kind of assumed that there's going to be more of a training kind of setup, which is kind of how you see this classroom style setup. What we found is actually post-COVID, we really love the idea of on-sites. So it's less actually about being in a classroom-like setting. It's more about creating those U-shaped tables. People like to go on-site, work together for a week, and usually in those sort of situations, some more of a collaborative experience. The tables kind of open up into more of a
Right.
traditional kind of conference room shape. And because the tables keep adjusting, having the mic pods in the ceiling installed is a really nice, elegant way to do it.
Okay.
Low cost, really low effort. And of course, with the controller, we wall mounted a tap IP just to get things off the table. But there's a really simple way to connect a second controller that you could put on the table in case you want to make something within arm's reach.
So again, this is your equipment adjusting for the different use cases in a way that actually is still almost purpose-built.
So this is the room that usually gets most people to kind of scratch their heads because whenever they think of boardrooms and they think of their COs, they immediately go to very, large, costly systems. We wanted to keep things simple. We wanted to make something that's completely self-service.
Yeah.
We wanted any of our executives to be able to walk in and just use the room without requiring any IT support.
Okay.
And so we did exactly that. So we really don't have any external DSPs or any special camera switching. Everything's automated.
Okay.
Like you said, we have a rally bar in the front with two 85-inch displays.
These are huge.
Very big. And then we just paired it up with two sites, and those sites provide that front and center video experience and also a better audio experience. So those are microphones and cameras.
And I don't know, you guys were, I think, first to market to have actually the center of table cameras paired in a daisy-chained model going out too.
First, and also combining it with the front of room device that's certified.
Was that enough for you to think about when you were first building that product out to begin with? You had to think about PoE, you had to think about connectivity, things like that?
You have to think about even the compute requirements for a device like this. So if you think about it, there's two cameras in this device, two cameras there, so that's 4 cameras. This device has 4 cameras. So
Wow.
You're designing a system that supports essentially 6 simultaneous camera streams. It's an entire system. And so just taxing one compute with all that streaming is difficult. So you want to do a distributed compute model, which is essentially what we did. You want to make sure that the microphone systems work so that you can use the mics built in the bar or the devices.
Right.
You want to make sure that when you update one thing, all of it gets updated as opposed to just one individual component.
Right.
So the whole system has to be considered, both from compute, thermal, to installation, to the audio performance. It all has to come together, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, right? To do that, you can't build it all at once.
Yeah.
You have to build it in parts. And to do that, you really have to think about what the final state is and then work backwards with a plan.
This is like a chess game. You are doing the Queen's Gambit here from move 1. Is that what you're gonna do? You're
Trying
here?
to.
You're trying to.
In the boardroom, you saw the inside out, and here we do a lot of the outside in testing, which you can see with our.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras. If you count the board, 5 cameras.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, you've heard of Rally AI Camera Pro.
I love this one. I actually had a chance to help you guys out with an ebook on this, but at the same time, seeing it live at ISE and everyone's response to that was fantastic.
It's really nice, right?
It was.
Yeah, it was. People, I think, were very excited about the tech, but equally they were maybe even more excited about the installation experience.
Right. You guys did some really great stuff around that, right?
Yeah. So as you know, we've been thinking a lot about how do we make this technology. If you look around this room, it's very technically correct.
Yeah.
You have cameras everywhere, but how do we make these cameras just disappear? And so one of the challenges we threw at our design team as part of designing the new AI cameras is how do you hide technology? How do you make technology to be more polite, kind of out of the way?
Polite.
And so you'll see in-wall mounted solutions. We have for both the Rally AI camera and AI Camera Pro. Now, historically, those have existed, but those have never really been purposefully designed for any particular solutions.
Okay.
So with the new mounting solutions, it looks super clean.
Yeah.
It's completely decluttered.
And you have these mounting options that hide that discreetly behind a wall that has that same type of softscape feature as your bars do.
We don't really want the technology to celebrate itself. That's why our tap controller is so low profile, because we don't want you to walk into the room and the first thing you see is the technology
Right.
front and center. So we purposely designed solutions where the cables are hidden, or the controllers are low profile, or now things are built into the walls just to kind of hide the technology.
This is you thinking beyond video bars, and that is Spot.
Yeah. So Spot is a really easy to deploy environmental and presence sensor.
Okay.
It literally takes seconds to deploy. It's kind of like a sticker. You just put the wall mount in.
I know this is on glass.
It's on glass. You just put it mounted in. That's pretty much it. So it detects air quality, temperature, CO2, particulate matter. It also detects presence, so if someone's in the space or not.
So this is a great space to think about that, because I may not be plugged into a monitor. I mean, I'm sitting here on my laptop working.
Right.
But what drove that? Who was asking for knowing if a pod was used or something like this?
The conversation started years ago when people were asking, customers and partners were asking us for occupancy insights for their spaces. But they didn't say, I want occupancy insights just for the rooms with video bars. They said they wanted it pretty much for everything.
Right.
Right. But in certain rooms, you're just not going to put a Rally bar. We could try to put one in here.
Yeah.
Might not fit.
Yeah.
So in some areas, they just don't want technology. This is a place where you put down your laptop and just walk away, right?
But I think there's actually an expansion of your ecosystem that other people weren't thinking all the way into, right? I mean, people were thinking about panels and touch controls and door displays right now, but to be thinking about this and those sensors, because this aligns to sensors that are also, for example, in the 65 board, right?
Right.
So I can have the board deployed where I might have these environmental centers. Now I have this also as well too.
So all the auto space management stuff I showed you earlier, we're looking at the
yeah.
wayfinding. You want to know if this space is available or not in real time. Yeah, you want to walk up to a big map and see is it green or red, and if it's available,
Yeah.
you want to be able to use it. So this ties in nicely into the broader ecosystem. So again, think of it as kind of like little puzzle pieces where there's an insights element, there's an automation element, but in order to enable all that, what you really need are sensors in all these different areas that inform the software backend. The feedback's been consistent for a long time, and we took action on it years ago, and you're starting to see parts of it come to life, both in the board and this, and you'll see it certainly in future products.
All right, I like this. Well, let me take you on one field trip. I want to show you what inspired me for this long view idea.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go, come on. Last spot. All right, Henry, this is the long view, right? This is what we're working towards?
Not exactly, but this works.
Okay, I like it. Well, Henry, hey, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. We had a chance to learn more about you, about how you think, about how you bring these products and these visions to life. beyond the quarters into that next time frame. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out.
I'm still going to enjoy the view though.
It's beautiful.
It is. Okay.